Welcome to Indiana News Desk. I'm Joe Wren. 5 counties across the state are waiting for details after the state recently announced it would expand its opioid treatment programs to their communities. The centers are expected to open within the next year and will offer medically assisted treatment to help those struggling with opioid addiction. But as Barbara Brozier reports, that method of recovery still carries a stigma.
I was always going to the dentist, and I would always get prescribed pain medicine, and at that point in time I absolutely was obsessed with the feeling that it gave me.
Ashley's story might sound familiar.
Before my eyes even opened in the morning, that was the very first thing that I was worried about, was where am I going to get it?
Struggling with postpartum depression, she turned to opioids to numb her mind.
I started realizing, thinking to myself, that I wasn't good enough for any kind of treatment, and that I wasn't going to be able to get help or anything. So I started using a lot heavier and using things that don't mix, and I overdosed. And I overdosed 2 different times. The second time was really bad.
That's when she decided to come here, after Ashley's family sat her down and told her her life depended on it.
Here, this place has really saved my life. It really has.
Ashley drives from Austin to the Southern Indiana Treatment Center in Charlestown every day. It's a state-approved opioid treatment center, which offers medication-assisted recovery. People coming here use medications including methadone and Suboxone as part of their treatment.
It helps to at least take care of, in a short time, the symptoms of the physiological disease of withdrawals and addiction, opiate addiction.
People also have to attend counseling sessions and can take classes to help prevent relapses. Clinical therapist Bill Zenner says some of the roughly 1,800 patients the center sees travel from as far away as central Kentucky. So he's happy to hear the state is expanding opioid treatment centers to 5 more counties over the next year. This
is great news because prior to up to probably 8 to 10 years ago, a lot of people in the state, and in many states, if you did not live in an urban area, you did not have access to treatment.
But the news isn't being received as well in a neighborhood just 5 minutes from the treatment center.
They're going from getting them hooked off of heroin and these other illegal drugs, and they're getting them hooked to a prescription drug, methadone, and I don't see where that's helping the problem.
Lizandra and Pete Davis say they've seen more problems in their neighborhood as traffic at the nearby treatment center has increased over the years. There are more people walking down the street at odd hours. One time they found someone sleeping in their driveway, and another time, someone trying to escape the police drove right through their yard.
And he came between our mailbox and the tree.
Their biggest concern is that other people's safety is being put at risk.
One of the signs that we have is our house is protected by the Second Amendment, and fortunately my wife and son both know how to protect our home.
It's a fear Monroe County Sheriff Brad Swain shares.
The treatment centers are providing state-sanctioned highs.
Monroe County is one of the 5 communities receiving an opioid treatment center as part of the state's expansion. The state selected communities based on need, but Swain questions whether the new facility will do more good than harm.
I have a concern that this is going to be a regional office and we're going to have people driving from other areas in their automobiles, driving while going through withdrawals potentially and the driving hazards, and then driving away after receiving their injection.
Bloomington Mayor John Hamilton says there are still a lot of unanswered questions about the planned clinic, including where it will be located. He's optimistic about its ability to help those struggling with opioid addiction, but does have some concerns.
It's got to be coordinated with our providers, our systems, our capacities, and the fact that it was announced without any of that discussion means we got to take a breath, take a pause, and let's talk again from the beginning. Okay, what are you trying to do with this, state? What's your goal?
Back in Charlestown, Zenner says he's heard all of the criticisms before.
It is a medication, it's a drug, but we have to look at what the result is. They are using a medication, a drug, to reach as a vehicle as a tool to get to recovery and can be in recovery while taking the medication. Because it's about living a sober lifestyle. It's about being sober-minded.
He says success stories like Ashley's are proof the center is making a positive impact, not only in her life, but in the community.
I feel like I'm normal now, you know, and I was normal before, but I just feel like I have more potential now that I'm not in the same in the place that I was in.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Barbara Rozier.
Allen, Johnson, Vigo, and Tippecanoe counties are also included in the state's expansion. Indiana's Medicaid program will help pay for methadone treatment starting August 1st.